Hey, welcome to Down Home Backyard Gardening. Have you ever been scrolling through TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, wherever, and you've seen gardening hacks, and you're just like, there's no way in the world those would work? Well, I've seen two that I'm going to give a shot today. So I'm going to show you exactly what my results will be, whether it's a success, a fail, whatever. And I'm actually really excited to try this. So if y'all are interested, hang around, but here we go. The first hack I want to try is this bell pepper hack. Now, what I saw on, I think it was Instagram, was a person cut the top off the pepper, basically like you're seeing me do right here. And then we're gonna take this part of the pepper, bury it in soil, and then see if it grows. Now, I'm assuming when the person who did this reel posted it, they did their experiment over the summer, so they were able to sit it outside and let nature and the heat and everything do it. Because this is right before Christmas and the weather's not right to do this outside, I'm gonna go ahead and bury this in this Cool Whip container with gardening soil, and I'm gonna sit it inside on the heat mat under the grow lights. And we'll see what happens, whether this grows like the hack, where it'll show lots of little plants growing up from these seeds, is what the hack showed. So I'm really interested to see this work, and I really hope it does. Could you imagine growing a bunch of bell pepper plants from something as simple as this? So let's give this a shot. Okay, and there we go. Now, I did not put drain holes in the bottom of this container because I want this sitting directly on the mat. I don't want like a plate under it collecting the water. So I'm gonna be real cautious with how much water I put in here to make sure I'm not flooding it and it's sitting in soupy, swampy soil. But now we're just gonna go sit this in on the heat mat and wait and see what the results are. So hopefully it'll be a good result. I'm praying. So in a few weeks, when this thing has done its thing, we'll show you the results. Okay, the second hack that I saw involves a garlic, just a clove of garlic. And what they did is they set this garlic with the root side down in like this jug of water. And then over time, each of the little cloves had a shoot coming up off of it. Then it'd be real simple, break off the shoot and go transplant it. Now, you all have seen when I plant garlic, I can grow garlic. That is not a crop that's hard for me to grow. But I wanted to try this because I think this would be a great way of growing your garlic in containers. Say if you're in an apartment and you have a patio, I think this would be an amazing way of doing it. And it shows you that it's going to start, your garlics are already going to start when you plant them. Instead of planting them and then hoping that they're going to grow, I think this is a good way, especially for a container gardener or someone with very limited space, to grow garlic. And to me, I think it's a cool thing to do with a child. Let the child see, hey, check this out. We're going to sit this garlic in a container, keep it filled with water, so the roots are always in the water. Now you're going to have to stay on top of this for sure. You're going to have to make sure the water level is always right there at the top. But I think it'd be a great way for a kiddo to see, and with a pepper plant also, a good thing for a little kiddo to see stuff growing in a way that they can do it too, where they can see the end result, which is this big old pepper or this clove of garlic and how the process works. So I'm excited to try this one. So I kind of already explained what we're going to do. We're going to fill this thing up with water, and I'm going to sit this also in there on the heat mat because, again, it's right before Christmas. Can't sit this outside, and I really want to see if this will work. So we're going to do that right now. Now, as you can see here, I already cut the hole in the jug, and it's a rough hole. It's nothing, perfect, but it's enough to get the root section of the bulb down inside that container, just enough to where the water level will be reaching those roots. Okay, before we put it in the container, we're going to just peel the top layers of the garlic skin off. I'm not going to go all the way crazy, but we're going to get the top layers of the skin off of it just to help it. And I'll be honest, I don't remember in the reel I saw whether or not they had done this, but I'm just going to do it. Make sure we leave the root alone. And you saw me sit the clove in. It is wet, so there is contact with that water. So now I think we're good to go. Okay, now the garlic is set, the pepper is set. Now we're just gonna sit around and wait and watch. I will update this video as things start to happen, or if after a couple weeks, 10 days or so, nothing has happened, I'll post those results also. So until then, I'll see you when we have results. Okay, it's been 2 days since I started these experiments, and I've already got something going on with the garlic. So let me show you. Okay, so check that out. I already have roots starting on the garlic. How cool is that? In just 2 days, that's already starting to happen. So just gonna put it back on there, and I will keep updating. You can see nothing's going on with the peppers, but it's only been 2 days. So again, I don't expect anything with the peppers for at least another 8 days-ish. Hopefully sooner, but we'll see. So I just noticed the garlic, so I had to stop everything I was doing, jump on here real quick for that update. So I will keep doing this throughout this video, hoping that there's continued progress like this. I will check back in on the next thing that happens between the two of them. Bye. Okay, everyone, this is now 2.5 weeks after I started this experiment. And as you can see, the roots are going crazy. And then look at everything popping up. There's even new ones right there on the right coming up. And you can totally smell the garlic smell right here. So this is definitely working. And on the other hand, still literally nothing is coming out of that experiment right there. Nothing. No bell peppers at all. So yeah. Okay, so today is January 21st. It's been just over a month since I started these two experiments, and I've got mixed results, but we're done with the experiment. As you could tell from the updates, which experiment is really doing good and which one just didn't do good at all. So we'll start with the latter of the two, the one that really didn't produce anything, and that's the bell pepper experiment. Now, I am going to try this again in the spring, sitting this outside in the sun where nature can really do its thing in here. Now, I probably won't do it again in a Cool Whip container. I'll do this in a pot of some kind, but I think the results will be different for the bell pepper experiment if it's done outside. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I'm going to do. But as you can see, nothing. Now, this has been on a heat mat under grow lights literally the entire time. The soil is damp to the touch. It's not dry. It's not all of that. So I don't know why this didn't grow. But I do want to dig into this and see the state of the pepper right now. So we're about to do that. Okay, there we go. Now we can make a nice mess. So let's dig this out. Now I know this looks dry, but it really isn't that dry. I've kept this soil moist, and oh, look at that. Look at that, y'all. There's actually sprouts growing. Look at that. They just didn't grow up far enough. Look at that. The entire pepper, look at that. The whole thing is, it basically decayed in there. But it did start to grow. Huh. Okay, well, that is really cool. It decayed inside the Cool Whip container. Huh. Okay, so that's actually not as much of a failure as I thought it was. So I think what I did is I set the pepper too low and it was too close to the heat mat, and I had too much material, too much soil on top of the pepper plant. So we will redo this experiment in the summertime outside, and I think the results will be absolutely different doing it outside. So I was actually really shocked to see what we just saw. So that was fun. And that's what doing experiments is all about. Having fun and seeing what will and won't grow and what you can do differently and all that. So let's move on to the fun one here. I'm very excited for this one. Okay, so the garlic experiment. Absolutely works. And the smell on this garlic is just something else. But look inside there with all those roots. That is just crazy. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to take the garlic out of the container. We're going to break the garlic up, leaving roots on each clove, and then we're gonna go plant them right now, today, out in the garden. And the reason I'm going to do that is for the next 3 to 4 days after today, it's supposed to be raining here in the North Houston area here in Zone 9A. So I want to get these outside and get them established and get those roots established quickly and let nature just start doing its thing. The freezing temps for the most part are pretty much done from everything I've read and seen. So I think it's ideal to end this experiment now, get the garlic cloves broke apart and outside, and get this garlic going and established out there. So let's do this. So once again, you can really see the roots in there, but together, let's take these out. I will say this clove is very, very fragile, but look at all the roots. That is just wild, y'all. Move that out of the way. Now, here's a great example. I think it's important to show that not all of these sprouted roots. These we're just going to sit off to the side, but the ones that actually rooted, we're just going to slowly pull apart like that. And then look at that, we've got 2 that are ready to go in the ground that have good root systems. So we are just going to go, so we're going to go ahead and do this to the rest of them here. Okay, so we are going to now get these transplanted out here in the garden, and I'm going to plant these in the same bin that I have some scallions growing in. Figure why not? Let's keep onions, garlic, all that together. So I'm going to show you exactly how I plant garlic. And as you can see right here, this is all the garlic that I planted a few months ago. I'll put a link to that video right here. But as you can see, I do not have trouble growing garlic. I have this one pretty much down to a science. So let me show you what I do. Get these planted, and y'all, we're pretty much done. Okay, what I like to do is lay out the garlic so I know exactly how many holes in the ground or the soil that I need to make. I want to make sure I've got all the roots down, the sprouts up. Now, I like to use a mixture of blood meal and bone meal at the bottom of every hole, every seed, anything that I make, that I plant. So that's what we're gonna do here. Put a little dusting in, and then we're just going to plant them right there to where the shoot is up. We're gonna do this with every single one of them. So, we'll be right back. Okay, now all we're gonna do is water these in really good. Make sure that the soil gets all around those roots really, really well. There we go. We're off to the races again. All right, everyone. Now, you might have noticed from the very beginning, I started this video in short sleeves. Today, I'm in a sweatshirt because it's been a month difference, and it's about 42 degrees out here right now, so I'm a little chilly. But I wanted to show an experiment in one video from the beginning to the end, where usually I'll start an experiment, and then 2 months later, I'll come back and show the results. Well, I wanted to show everything in one video. I hope you all enjoyed that. I enjoyed making this video and had fun with this entire process. Okay, so we have a mixed bag of results. One worked, one didn't. But I think the one that didn't work, which I explained a little bit ago, I'm gonna do differently here in the spring. And I think the results will be totally different. Hey, I hope everyone got something out of this video one way or another. If you did, share it, like it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. As always, everyone, take care, God bless, and I'll talk to you all again real soon.